Danganronpa.
Must be funny in a rich man's world. Money, 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 always sunny in a...